Hello.
Hey, welcome back to the Bible Study Girl podcast. This is Sarita. You may know me as Bible Study Girl, and with our saucy introduction is none other than the executive producer of this podcast, Bible Study Brother.
Hello, it is I, Bible Study Brother, also known as Icarus Gray, over at Gray Area Anime, and this is the most wonderful podcast of your day. And if you need some energy, go check out that new single from myself.
And you're definitely going to need that energy today, guys. You know why?
Because we play to win.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about the blog for today's blog recap episode. It is entitled Play to Win. If you want to read the blog to get a better understanding of what we're talking about, head on over to BibleStudyGirl.com, touch the magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner, type in Play to Win, and it will send you directly to that blog. So I look forward to hearing what kind of insights you got from the blog, what it said to you, how it spoke to you. Our new format to talk about our blogs is that Bible Study Brother is going to roll out of the gate with his interpretation of what the blog was all about. Then I'll give you guys a little inside information about how I felt when I was writing the blog and what it really meant to me at that time. And then I'll let you know if my feelings have changed since then, if they remain the same. I'll just give you a more current update on my feelings. This blog was written back in 2019. That's 3 years ago. So lots of things in my life and my personal life have changed. So I look forward to letting you guys know how I feel current day. So take it away, Bible Study Brother. Give the people a basic recap before you start talking so they don't get lost. And then let me know overall just what points the blog brought up for you.
So basic recap, guys, is in the blog post, Rita explains her love of gaming and the competition therein that comes from that. And she also exclaims...
Not like gaming, like Call of Duty,
I
but
was
like...
getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
Gosh. Basically what she talks about is her competitive spirit, and that, there's oftentimes when you're winning that you try to dim your light, and you should not dim your light spiritually. You should continue to run up the score, because the devil is not going to take his, he ain't taking no starters out. He is still playing himself. He is not, it doesn't matter how long into the game, he's going to keep playing. Even if it is a predetermined loss, he said, I'm not going to stop playing, and you shouldn't either, because then you'll end up effectively losing people. And doors just magically open. So with that, you just kind of have to learn and understand to continue being competitive, continue striving for better. Don't dim your light in the middle of, just don't dim your light. I don't like run up the score. Like when God gives you something to do, keep doing it expertly.
Okay. You want me? Okay, you want me. You're ready for me. What I was going to say is I am very competitive. Hey, girl, hey. I'm speaking to my sister-in-law. My brother's so embarrassed, but I just saw her, so I had to say hi. When I wrote the blog, you want to talk about winning? I want to talk to you about misconceptions about me. Mm-hmm. Okay. That is what spurred me to write the blog.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I can get into my...
Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, I'll get into my...
You go ahead and get into it.
Okay. So my initial thoughts on the blog post were, yes, this is my sister. But also the end of it, I was like, yes, this is also my sister, in ways that she's preaching to herself while not realizing the sermon that she needs to hear. In her birthday episode...
Can I say this?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times the messages that I I mean, like I've said before, this is my journal. Basically, the blog is my journal. So I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to God. This is really a conversation. So these are the things that I need. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you also in your birthday episode, which is the one I'm telling y'all to listen to after this one, we give you words of praise and encouragement for where you are. My encouragement to you is to stop dimming your light or stop dimming your confidence in things that you're good at, and you like get this humble air of spirit to where it's like, no, spiritually you are very gifted in this. If it's speech pathology, you're one of the best, period. If it's event planning, you're one of the best, period. There's no comma, there's no like extra thought. These are things that God has given you. Um, when it comes to having a spirit that is open for people to come in and share with you their walks, their thoughts, that is another thing that like run up the score, fam. Like stop acting like you're not a star player when you are. That is the other aspect of what I got from this is like realizing you're a star player, because it's not just about your competitive edge and the different aspects of you that you have, which are you have a work persona, you have a sister persona, you have a raunchy persona, you have a foodie persona, you have a pet loving persona. And that goes for dogs, cats, fish. Um, so you have so many different aspects to you that all work together very well. And you try to like downplay certain aspects. And that's like with this blog post, I was like, bro, when God gives it to you, you use it. Because I think, funny side stories, I'm thinking about like, shining light of things we do. So it was some years ago at this point. I don't remember what year, but we were walking our dog at the time before she passed, Fiona. And we go past this park and there was these kids outside.
I remember this.
And the kids are like, Fiona was an amazing dog. We always had dogs that were mutts, but looked like they were pure something. And so they was like, what kind of dog is she? And it was like, well, she's a so and so and so and so. And, her hair was clean, something like that. Long story short, the kid then goes, like, well, what do you do? It was like, well, we like take her to the vet and stuff, to make sure she gets shit. You take her to the vet, and it was like this thing.
No, he commented on how shiny she was.
Yes, that's what it was.
And I was like, we washed her.
Yeah. And the funniest thing about it that we had a conversation later was about, taking care of your pets and stuff. And like Sarita is not somebody who ever half stepped with a pet. Didn't matter. Like dogs was gonna dog in terms of their actions or things that were around, but she went above and beyond for each and every one of her pets. If surgery had been like from Queen to Fiona, like there was money spent, a lot of money spent in behind dogs being dogs. And that's your, like, it didn't matter. Like, this is my pet. Like, and I get it. It's not a child. I understand those differences, but I'm not finna take care of this as though there's no glory or whatever in it. Like everything you do in an exceptional way. And I think that's part of your persona. And that's what I kind of got is just be more of yourself, step into these things and be who you're meant to be. It's a hard thing to think about the competition aspect of it, because that's not really what the blog post is saying to me. What it's saying to me is have the spirit to win and keep winning. No matter what it is, when God gives you these things, keep striving. So as an artist, 34-year-old artist, I've been rapping since I was in middle school, but more actively, like, in terms of actually trying to do stuff when I got into high school. And, I never really pursued it that way because I always looked at it as, well, if this gift can't be that great if people if people on my team, quote unquote, don't feel that it is. And it's like, no, fam, you a star player. Like, you've had more instances where people who are credible in this have, sent you the confirmation that God was trying to send you, and you was like, nah. Nah, it can't be. And yeah, so it was just one of those amazing things that I think this blog post is timely, just like the last one, to things that are going on. Because, like I said, by now the single has been released. But currently, as we're recording, I'm at the week of getting everything done for release on what will be this Friday. But I'm not going to say it because this is evergreen content.
It
And
is
you
evergreen,
just
but
need
you
to
just
go
made
back.
it.
It's still evergreen because like you'd have to do a lot of, you'd end up at the song, and maybe once you get to the song and listen to the song, you know what day this was recorded. But yeah, you have to do all that. So and I'll take the listen of making you search.
I will say, when I wrote the blog, I was coming from a place of, okay, you only see this one side of me. You don't get the fullness of me. And that is why you're coming at me with this opinion, or what I felt like you wanted my response to be, the person I was talking to, when
Okay.
I'm talking about the blog, the beginning of the blog.
She clarified
Sometimes,
because I was looking at you, because I was looking at her like, what you mean I don't know your sides?
no, not you. You know all of my
Yeah.
sides,
Yeah.
but um for people that only know me from a distance, you know what I'm saying? Like, they expect me to, I think maybe people would expect me to not be as competitive as I am. Because that's, I feel like that's the quote unquote Christ like response, I guess. I don't know. To just like, we have to be nice and kind and like we don't want to shame anybody. And not that I go around blasting people and saying shame on you, but if I'm engaged in a competitive activity, I'm engaged in it to win.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If I'm competing to win.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I may not win, but I'm going to give it my all because I don't like losing. Nobody does.
Women, men, children can get it when it comes to her competitive spirit.
When it comes to my competitive spirit, I think I've said this on a previous podcast, but like part of being a speech language pathologist and working with, primarily I've worked with like birth to 6. That's my general wheelhouse. That's my comfort zone. I have worked with adults and I've worked with the whole spectrum, but I thrive in that birth to 6 range. And so, we play a lot of games, a lot of kiddie games. A lot of them are just games of chance. We're just rolling the dice. And I don't construe the game so that the kid wins every time. Whatever happens, happens. And I feel like it's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about. Are you frozen?
No.
Oh, you were just so still. I was like, this guy has got to be frozen. It was like I didn't see you blinking, but I feel like it's the perfect opportunity for us to talk about how to deal with loss and when you win. And it's a perfect opportunity for me to share. Miss Sarita does not like to lose either. I don't like it. It sucks. It happens though. We don't always know, how the game is gonna play out, but it's the perfect opportunity for me to talk to them about winning. I said all of that so y'all are not offended when I'm playing a game with your kids and I don't let them win. Cause I mean, it's just sometimes you're gonna win, sometimes you go.
That's just life.
And that goes even for a family like Sweet Baby last weekend or weekend before last. It wasn't last weekend. We were playing Connect Four, all her idea. I don't let kids win. Now I did give her some helpful tips because I was smoking her and she was getting real discouraged. And I was like, hey girl, you might want to try this out, Um, but she was very excited when she got the win because she got the wins genuinely. It wasn't like I was just being like, okay, here you go, little girl. Because life doesn't do us that way at all, ever. It doesn't say, you've been on a losing streak. Here's your win.
Yeah, I
And I
know.
can testify to that personally. So I have I know the typical format is that I talk about what I was thinking at the time that I wrote the blog, and then I'll bring you up to current day. But I'm going to kind of mix it up and switch it up because I needed this blog about staying in the game. I needed a reminder that I'm a winner, even when it feels like I'm losing in life. Because let me tell you, last week was a hard week for me. Last week was a horrible week for me. I'm gonna need you to filibuster for a second.
Okay. It was, oh, sorry, I meant to mute you. I didn't. But it was a very, very rough week for the girl. So much so that we was like, everybody double checked in. Like for the past 2 weeks, everybody was like, check in and quickly, because this was unexpected, especially when we plan diligently as a family.
Yeah. And so the last couple of weeks have been incredibly hard for me. And last week, I forgot that I was a winner. All I could see was loss, loss after loss after loss, hit after hit after hit. It was like unbearable for me. And so I needed a reminder that, girl, in Jesus, you already have the victory. We kind of talked about a little bit on the last podcast, but it would be fake of me to sit up here and say that I walk in victory every day, because I don't. And I need reminders that I am a winner, even if every other situation in life is saying you're not a winner. I need to be reminded that Jesus has already secured the victory, because it doesn't always feel like that for me. It didn't feel like that for me last week, like at all, not even a little bit. I was over everything and everybody. And I felt attacked on every side. And so I needed to read this blog to be reminded who I am. I needed to be reminded that the victory has already been secured. Don't mean that the devil ain't gonna tackle me sometimes, because he tackled me last week, and I had to make a decision to get back up and not stay down. He's just mad because he already knows what his ending is going to be. So he wants to make my experience on earth miserable. And I had a mind shift, and I had to say to myself, I really did have to start speaking positive things over my life, speaking positive things to myself, not letting all the bad things that were piling up take me out. So yeah, I needed this reminder that I'm victorious. I can have a fighting spirit, but when you get in beat down on a constant basis, it can be hard to remember to have a fighting spirit.
Yeah, because we just look at it because the other part about victory is that some people think that once you get ahead, that it's just supposed to be easy. And that's not the case with any team or whatever. That's when you lose, is the moment you think that because you have a 20-point lead or whatever lead that you have, that's untouchable. Very famously, the Atlanta Falcons learned that in the Super Bowl. They were up, I think, 28-7 and lost to the Patriots. It was one of the last, if not the last, Super Bowl party that we had at Uncle Chauncey's house. I don't remember if it was the last, but it's one of the ones we had over there. I know for sure, because it was one of the years I was rooting for the Patriots, even though I'm not a Patriots fan. I am a Tennessee Titan fan.
I just went there for the food.
Yeah, I know. We all did. Well, I went there for the food and the game and the family.
We had fun.
Yeah, but you just have to learn that winning doesn't mean you need to be less of what you are. It really means you need to be more, because you're winning. You need to be more focused. You gotta like understand that the devil will take any opportunity once you think you've won, to take you out, to throw a distraction in, to throw something else in, to throw a petty argument. This is something especially that can happen, whether you're married, dating, all kinds of things. I know for a fact, like we talk about our beef and stuff, but it's like if we had just let the devil get the victory in that, like we wouldn't have what we have right now. Um,
Not at all.
you know,
My pastor was preaching about forgiveness on Sunday, and it made me think about my relationship with you because he talks about the fact that, forgiveness is not something that's going to feel natural to you. It's supernatural. It's something that God is doing. It's not
mhm,
you. And that's what happened in our relationship. It was something supernatural because we talk about my competitive spirit. I also have a very stubborn spirit. I'm very
mhm,
prideful. It's not something I'm proud of, but those are things that I recognize about myself. And the fact that we sit up here and talk about Jesus and how good he is a testament to the fact that you can have victory in any situation.
yeah,
Because I didn't see this being on the other side of our disagreement. And, even with the situations and stuff that I'm dealing with right now, it really kind of reminds me of like when everybody passed away in 2021. I couldn't remember because, for us,
yeah.
2021 don't really exist.
It does not.
It
And
kind of
2020 was
reminds,
in and of itself was still rough, so it's not
right.
like, oof.
So it's like when Tamika passed away, that was hard. Ooh, that was a hit. I felt horrible. Took me to about the 3 week mark to say, I can survive this. There will be glory after this. You can live life after this. And literally, the day that I decided that there will be glory after this, that you can live life after this, Aunt Linda dies. Like, it's like the devil was like, whoop, she got up, boom. And while I'm still dazed and confused, here come Uncle Chauncey dying. Boop. And it took me out for a long time. I forgot that I was a winner. I forgot that the battle had already been won. None of that stuff was in my head. I was dazed and confused. I had been knocked out. I feel like the situation and the things that I'm going through now are like a repeat of that. People are not dying, but it's like if I can't take you out that way, I want to take you out this way. Um, Boom, I'm gonna hit you in the head. Oh, you still living? Let me hit you again. Let me hit you one more time. Um, but to me, really reading this blog is just a reminder and an encouragement. Do what the Lord has for you to do.
Yeah.
Period. You are a winner. You have won. Even though you feel like you a loser, you are a winner. And I have to walk in that.
And you just have to focus on the game that he's placed in front of you. To
Right.
continue the sports analogy, like that year. Here's the last year for us. So last year we have all that loss at the beginning of the year. Um, and my focus always was from like October before everything had started happening was okay, we're going to move. I remember talking to you and being like, the weird thing about this move is for the first time, I'm not like crippled by the thought of missing y'all because I'm focused on he said it. So there's got to be something about it.
Right.
And, there's a reason that I'm calm. So then we start the year, those things happen. Around March or April, whenever it was that I went up there, we come up here. When we come up here, it does not rain once. Now, granted, it was in the non-rainy season, but it did not rain like at all compared to what everybody, it's always raining and all this other stuff. Okay, so I'm still focused. I come back, you know, like everything that I had planned starts like falling, out of place. But I said, okay, it's okay. I'm not my time, his time. I had conversations with you about like we kept, I'll say we kept setting dates, and they would keep getting kind of knocked back. I had all this stuff going on at work, but I was still focused. Like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I am stressed. And like, I would also talk to you about like the difference between I'm focused and I want to make sure that in the spirit, I'm not running away, because I know that somewhere in me, that's what I want to do, which was also the time frame of, things getting extended. Then we get, close to what would be the finish line when God starts opening all these doors and allowing, all this redemption in terms of the score of ministry and everything in my marital life, in terms of us things that felt like they had been lost when we were in high school are now being returned to my wife, are now being returned to me. We're in positions in the church that, like, again, focusing on. And then like within a month, whereas we have been saying like, I mean, I don't know how, but I know that by this point in time, this was the decision. And then we end up here. We end up here in 2 weeks from like having to change a lot of things that have been solidified. And it was just from focusing. We get one of the best road trips, exhausting road trips, but we had one of the coolest road trips we've had. In terms of, the murder scene that you left and everything.
And how y'all didn't care about me. Y'all was just gonna leave me for dead. And that is why I be listening to all my murder podcasts. Keep talking.
But the victory was in focus, in the fact that I knew it had not been won, and that I can't sit here and defeat, because I know what you said. I know that there was a promise made. Your word does not come back to you void
Ever.
But ever.
Like I was saying though, it's easy to say that, and it's harder to live that. Yes. And I am a living witness that it's harder to live that. And so that's why I said this blog really did encourage me and reminded me, Sarita, you are a winner. I needed that reminder today, because I have felt defeated. I have felt so over life, and not being dramatic, but like being literally like, I'm over this. And so I'm tired. Like I need for you to do something, because this is this what we supposed to be doing? You talked about that, I think, in the last podcast, but like, we don't talk about the hard times in life, and life is hard. It gets real hard. It gets real complicated. It gets real complex, and it can hit you in ways that you're not expecting. No. And the storms don't wait for one storm to pass before they roll back on you. But like I said, this blog for me really is a reminder that I'm a winner. I have a winner spirit in me. I have the spirit of Jesus Christ residing in me. The Holy Spirit is residing in winner. And I'm really talking to myself right now. I'm trying to remind myself that I am a winner. And like, it ain't gonna always feel like it. It's not gonna always look like it, but I have to keep that winning mindset always.
Or that, the game is going, the mindset is going to be hard regardless. It's not that even in winning, even in while you're winning, doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen. I remember, like, and I talk about this often, but in my first year of preaching, it seemed like, and I'm pretty sure, if 80% of the sermons that I did in my first year of preaching, somebody died like immediately before. I remember, I feel like either the week Tamika passed, I had to preach that Sunday.
She passed away on Thursday. You preached on Sunday. Yeah. I don't know how you did it. I do know how you did it. The Holy Spirit.
Because that's what I was going to say. But that, that had happened, or even when Uncle Blue died, I had to do a sermonette for watch night service.
He was still alive.
No, I had got a text in between something. Like I remember that before I went. I'm gonna have to find it. But anyway, point being, it was in the same. It was close to when I had to do this stuff.
But go ahead with your
Like, so
story.
it would have been after. Either way, I had to
Yeah.
do a lot of different things. Um, and it was like in the moment of like, okay, if I sit down, if I take a breath, and do anything like that, then I'm not gonna be able to do this because I'm gonna stop every time I sneeze. I'm gonna stop every like if I stop and take a moment in this moment and don't preach through the testimony because every sermon that I had created prior to whatever pertained to the exact thing that I either got from that person, needed to say, any of that. You know, like cuz when we got to
Right.
Sunday and I was like, "Oh no, this was ordained. This was orchestrated to be here when I needed this motivational refocusing." Um because being in the lead don't mean you're not going, like when you in the lead, that's when the opposition tries to do whatever they can. They know they losing. You're already in a position of victory. So just remember that, that's when folks start playing dirty. That's when they try to like injure you. So your next game, you're not gonna be there. They want to take you out for your next game, for your next
Very
story.
true.
So, remaining focused and that's how I did it. Like, bro, it was crazy. I mean, I was like, God, did you want me to do this? Like, am I like, cause it's
No,
tough.
clearly he wanted you to do it but also he knew you could handle it. Cause he didn't have me on program to speak at nobody. Cause all they would have been getting was Cause that's literally all I was doing. I also did a lot of silent crying, but I also did a lot of hollering. So
Yeah, and most times because like we have a baby that we take care of that is very smart, and is able to know when she can't be a baby. Um, she helped a lot. I didn't get to help as much because COVID was like just doing. We was trying to be as mindful as possible, even while not being mindful.
but yeah, I needed, you talked about something being timely and things being ordained. Just think if I hadn't been obedient and wrote this blog. I needed this blog in 2022 and I wrote it in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's what comes from obedience and pushing through. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm pushing through. I don't feel like it, but I am pushing through. So I really hope it encourages somebody to push through. Man, it hurts sometimes. Life hits and the devil don't play fair, but it's because he knows he's a loser. And so you needed this reminder. Somebody needed this reminder today. Somebody other than me that you are a winner and you should have a winning spirit. Play to win because you've already won. And I'm talking to myself, just like I was talking to myself when I wrote the blog in 2019.
Yeah.
So I probably should start writing because, man, look up 3 or 4 years from now and be like, oh, this is the thing I needed on this day
Yes.
today.
Keep playing the game. You are all winners. And, if you ever need to talk to the coach, he's always there. Just like blog posts from BibleStudyGirl.com are always there for you. They're here every day. So you'll have something that you can read to get you through the storm, to get you a game plan to gain more victory. And remember, it's not the Houston Rockets that preach. It's not the Miami Dolphins that preach. It ain't even the Philadelphia 76ers that preach, but oh, wait.
That was not my favorite
That
team.
was
That was you.
no. The last one, yeah.
St. Louis
I did
Cardinals.
two of your things. No, I wasn't giving all your teams. Also, before I did that, I almost closed this out way early. Yeah, BibleStudyGirl.com. Go there. But also, if you want to hit us up on Twitter, hit us up at BibleStudyGirl, the number 2. On Instagram at _ Bible Study Girl. And if you want to be a guest or give us any prayer requests for us to pray for you, send those to BibleStudyGirl at 2019 or BibleStudyGirl2019 at gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, Bible Study Girl. And remember, now that I got this all in order, that there's also a new
Also,
single.
I want to say this.
Go ahead.
You haven't been saying this, but the new podcast comes out every Saturday at midnight, drops at midnight. So
every Saturday
Friday,
at midnight.
yeah, every Saturday midnight. Yeah, it's
So you'll be by the time you wake up on Saturday, it's there when you need
it's
it.
there.
Two little promotional things that we want you to know about. I want y'all to get these amazing body butters that are gonna help you change your life. These things are gonna be revolutionary for you, and they're gonna put you in the best space you've ever been in for skincare. And I think that you should go to scratchcraft.com.
It's Scratch Crafts with an S,
Scratchcrafts.com.
LTD.com. Yes.
LTE.
LTD is in dog.
LTD.com. What she said. But go there because I want y'all to get this rejuvenation and just like shine like y'all need to shine. Also, there is a new single out from your favorite producer, Bible Study Brother, Icarus Great Energy. Get your energy up. Go work out with a positive message behind you. The positive thing of refocusing and gaining your victory. And remember, it's not the Houston Rockets that preach. It's not the Miami Dolphins that preach. It ain't the St. Louis Cardinals that preach.
Thank you.
But we preach.
And until we meet again, guys, keep preaching.